What
the
frick
Friday!
Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, you are so very welcome. So, before we start the show today, I want to address this channel. I have not been filming any videos, not done any videos, more or less for the whole of lockdown, because I have just not been inspired to do makeup. And a lot of things have changed. Very long story short, I wanted to take my channel to a different place, and I also wanted to get Hugo involved. So if you've been here for a while, you know that Hugo has been in quite a lot of my videos, quite a lot of the advent calendar videos that I did. We also did a Hugo does my makeup video. I'll leave a little card if you're interested in that one. But I've always wanted to kind of create something together that we can do, because we are both performers. And right now, obviously, there are no jobs whatsoever, so we want to kind of maintain this. So we are going to create a show called What the Frick Friday, which is going to be basically a show every single week, every single Friday, to end the week with some fun, some facts, and some absolute nonsense. And we've put quite a lot of
Effort, thought,
blood.
tears,
No.
sweat.
No, we haven't worked that hard. But we put quite a lot of time into planning how we want to do this show. So it's basically a show in 3 parts, which is going to be kicked off by Check It Out. Then we have Triggered, Sniggered, or R. We also have the Humour News, which humour is going to be the new name of the channel. Check out how that is spelled down below. And that is basically, what we're going to be doing. So hopefully it will be really enjoyable for you. We've had a lot of fun trying to put it all together. So that is basically what it is. Me and Hugo doing a show every single Friday. So I think just make sure subscribe to the channel.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Ring the notification bell. And we're off.
We kick off our first ever show with Check It Out, which is every week. We recommend each other a film or a book or an album to listen to, and the other has to check it out. So this week, we're
not allowed to say no, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're not allowed to say no.
Not allowed to say no.
No, so it can literally be anything. So this week, I kicked it off with one of my favourite and nostalgic films, The Fifth Element, which is a 1990s science fiction movie by Luc Besson, starring Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich and Gary Oldman, and it's awesome, it's amazing. This is the first time I've watched it, probably in about 10 years, so I'd forgotten literally everything. And I kept going, oh, look, oh, yeah, and then I went, oh, that didn't look quite as good as I remember it being, because 90s computer graphics. But it's awesome, and I was really excited to see what Martine thought of it. So what do you think?
Science fiction has never been my thing. It's from a lack of a better word, it's a little bit silly, and now you know I love silly, but it kind of becomes so unrealistic that I'm like...
Yeah, but you like things like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly, so it's a bit weird. So, but yeah, well, it's just never been my thing, and it wasn't something that I grew up with, so there's no nostalgia attached to me when watching these things. I grew up watching Gremlins and MacGyver, so it's just a bit different. But I mean, I think the main thing for me was that it got better. It started off and I was like, what? I think the story was not established in the slightest. The guy in the temple at the beginning, it was just a bit like, okay, you've got the old white-haired archaeologist, obviously. And it was just a bit like, it went from 0 to 100 really, really quickly, and I just don't know what's going on.
Right.
And I think if it wasn't for the fact that you've got so many amazing actors in this video, if it wasn't for them kind of carrying it, it would have been the B movie on the bottom of, you know, when you scroll through Netflix and you've scrolled for so long that now you're kind of coming to the bit where you're like, what on earth? That's fun, by the way, do that. But it would have been down there with all of those ones.
I don't think so.
If you had shitty actors and you don't.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have shitty actors in anything.
But that's what I mean. I think Bruce Willis, even though there was no real character build-up, there was no really, he's got all these points missing from his license. It was kind of like, okay, so he gets into trouble a lot, but there was really nothing else, and I was just a bit like. I was having to piece them together. This is my opinion. You don't need to.
No.
But yeah, no, I think I needed to piece too much together myself. But then it got better.
Yeah, and it's a visual treat. Like all the costumes are designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and it's ridiculous and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
and...
I mean the majority, the costumes that were ridiculous, but the others were, I think, it was a bit bland.
Oh really?
Well, yeah, knowing that it was designed by him, I thought a lot of the robes were completely bland. It was just like, we brought the robe from home. The toilet roll costume that she's first put in, I thought was really uneventful and unimaginative. I think the only costumes that were like fantastic were the diva, that was brilliant, and the news, the radio guy.
Oh yeah, Ruby Rod.
Yes, that was also quite fabulous. In general, I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. Not something I would choose.
What? Just found a picture of you. How it look? Like shit.
Yeah, my face was that of a cat. Wow, that cat is me.
Yeah. Useless. New York cops.
All I have to do now is go to the airport, take his place.
Ooh, what is it? What is that? Is that that elephant thing?
Yes.
Don't come back without the stones.
Isn't that not a mine?
No! No, you're gonna die.
No.
Did you just turn into the Rocky Horror Picture Show? What is that hair?
Hey look, it's a literal dickhead.
Leave! Why are you coming back? Like he was the one that put the bomb.
Because he's got to get the stone. He thinks they're still on the ship.
Ten, 9, 8, 7,
That bald guy right there in the middle.
5.
When I was 10, he was in the first panto I ever did. He played the butler. He was very funny.
Right, the next part of the show is one of the ones that I'm most excited about, but also I'm most scared about.
Triggered, sniggered, or ah.
Triggered, sniggered, or ah. Every week, we each come armed with a piece of content where the purpose is either to trigger, to snigger, or to ah the other person. And you will get a point. So we'll have a point system running on this. If you get a big enough reaction and you both agree that that deserves a point, you get a point. And at the end of the month, whoever has the most points gets to choose a forfeit for the other. And I've already thought out a really good forfeit if I win. It's embarrassing.
I get a point if I make you trigger, snigger, or ah.
Yes.
Any one of those, I get a point.
Yes.
Fab.
So the one that I'm going to choose this week is Sniggered. I want to make Hugo laugh. So what I'm going to show him is a TikToker, and I just have to get his name right, Bash the Entertainer. So that his TikTok will be linked down below because he's hysterical.
CEO of Coping Sounds.
Oh, did you not find it funny?
It's alright, it's not that
Oh my
funny.
god, that's so funny. Right, okay.
Your reaction is to that is more funny.
Okay, let me show you one more.
Okay.
Can nobody copy sounds like me?
I get the point.
I'm crying and I've seen them so many times. Do you not find that funny?
Nah. It's alright. I don't like the way he laughs at himself.
No, but that's what makes it
afterwards.
so cute and relatable and just charming. Oh my god, if you haven't, check him out down below. He's really, really funny. It's really light-hearted, silly fun, which I think a lot of us need. So,
Fair.
didn't get him to laugh, but
Clearly
I laughed.
I'm
It's a me win.
heartless.
It's a personal win.
The best kind of win. So for my entry, I've delved into the depths of old school YouTube and I've brought Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. People who know this, you know what I'm talking about. Let's do it.
What's your favourite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get that idea?
I just tried to think creatively. Now when you look at this orange, tell me please, what do you see?
It's just a boring old orange.
Maybe to you, but not to me. I see a silly face. Walking along and smiling at me.
I don't see what you mean.
'Cause you're not thinking creatively. So take a look at my hair.
No.
Come on, take another look.
I can see a hat, I can see a cat, I can see a man with a baseball bat, I can see a dog, I can see a frog, I can see a ladder, leave me alone.
Think you're getting the hang of it now, using your minds to have a good time.
I might paint a picture of a clown.
Oh, therefore you might need to slow it down. Get creative. Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
I don't even know what that was supposed to do.
I was hoping to trigger you, actually.
That was just painful to watch. I think the best thing to do is just to move on and forget that ever happened.
Oh, come on, it's so messed up.
I've seen worse things.
Right, that takes us on to the last section of the show, the humour news. And I'm passing you over to Angela and her co-host in the studio.
Thank you, Hugo. I'm Angela Wellman,
And I'm Barry McCockiner.
and this is the Humour News. The first story today is, what are the UK's kinkiest names? People called Charlie and Jessica are the most kinky in the UK, according to a new study. The shopping marketplace called onbuy.com studied sales data and found which names made the most kinky purchases. Among the men, Charlie was followed by Mike and Ryan. For women, Jessica had Liz and Hannah hot on their heels.
Doctors remove iPhone charger from man's bladder. Doctors in India have removed a 2-foot-long phone charger from inside a man's bladder. The 30-year-old man, said to have a history of accidental ingestion of headphones, was given a 2-day course of laxatives in a bid to ease the pain before doctors performed a small incision into his gastrointestinal tract.
The man has a history of accidental ingestion of headphones.
Yes, I think if you have a history of ingesting things like that, it's not accidental.
I'm sorry, headphones. They're like that long. Woman hatches ducklings from Waitrose eggs. A woman has hatched 3 ducklings from eggs she bought at Waitrose. Charlie Lello from Hertfordshire said she put the Clarence Court eggs in an incubator as an experiment to pass time during her furlough. She says they live a very happy life and the chickens are called Beep, Peep and Meep.
Well, there you go. That's what you get from Waitrose, isn't it?
I don't think that's just Waitrose.
That's fully organic.
I think that is horrifying, and I will question all the eggs I ever buy, ever.
Police fine man for massive intestinal wind. A man in Austria has been fined nearly £500 for farting loudly in front of police officers. Police in Vienna said the uncooperative man pushed out a massive intestinal wind, apparently with full intent. They added, of course no one is reported for accidentally letting one go. Well, how about that?
I'm sorry. It's the use of the word massive
Yes.
intestinal wind and the man put. Can you imagine it? I just imagine this man going like.
Yeah, and also I very much enjoy the uncooperative man. I'm like, well, if I was fined £500 for farting, I would be uncooperative as well. So was he being uncooperative and then he farted?
Well, of course, it's not just going to go over to a policeman and just go, hey.
No, well.
Anyway, moving on from flatulence, we now have a cute story regarding 3 little dogs helping each other out. It's what we would like to call real-life Paw Patrol. Bella was abandoned in a cardboard box. Bolt was born with a broken tail. Bonnie is deaf, and her owner didn't want her anymore. But handler Tim Livesey took them in. They're now wearing protective goggles, responding to hand signals, valiantly protecting each other, with Bella and Bolt acting as Bonnie's ears. The heroic trio have made all manner of adventures, including mountain climbing, camping, and an exciting running with a coyote. To see more of their adventures, go follow them on Instagram. I believe it's Beauties and the Bolt. Beauties and the Bolt, links in description.
That brings us to our last story in the humour news. Isolating ex-soldier leaves uninhabited island, escaping COVID entirely. A 39-year-old former British paratrooper spent lockdown on an uninhabited island where he was staying with his pet dog Jet. He was doing this as a fundraising challenge. A regular boat brought him fresh water and coal, he collected driftwood, foraged and fished for food, and always made sure he had a 3-week supply of dog food. He said he was the happiest I've ever been while living on the island. Well, you know what? If I could have escaped lockdown on an island, I definitely would have done.
That is it for the news. Back to you two in the studio. Thank you so much to the Human News team. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video for the sneaky of the week. And with that said, that is it for this video. We hope you did enjoy it. Remember to subscribe and ring the little bell so you get notified. And do please leave us some comments down below if you did enjoy this video. And we will see you next time. What the frick Friday?
I don't know what
You know those things that stand in the car park on the car.
Oh, incredible, amazing, inflatable arm person.